Yo, what's up, guys? It is Gatsby, and I'm gonna try to come at you guys with my very first photo manipulation tutorial. Okay, now as you can see here, I am on Google. This Google website is probably the most important website of my whole entire manipulation. Like, if you want to say career, if you want to, but what we're going to manipulate to is a famous background that I have, and a lot of people know it by sore colds. I know it by the Snow City. Okay, now what I already have here is I have the background, like, I'm gonna start over because you guys won't understand what I'm talking about here. Alright, now I'm gonna go fast forward. Alright, what you have to do is you have to make a material, and whenever you make the material, you have to put out the texture. You have to put the picture on the texture right here, and you don't do anything. You just put it on there. Okay. Now you make a background, and then you put the texture on the background, like so. And then whenever you do that, what you gotta do is you gotta go to this material thing right here, and you gotta go to, you gotta size it out to where it's as big as the background, and it's what I have right there. And then what you want to do is you want to make a I make landscapes instead of planes because landscapes are more realistic and it's more buried into the snow. And so you get that to where you want it. And I'm going a little bit faster for this because it's a tutorial and it's not going to be the best in the world. So what you do is whenever you get your landscape, and then you see it's gray right here, and this is where I'm going to start off here. You get your landscape, and then you get your material that you have for the background. You press Control or Command for Mac. You put it on there, and then you right click it, Cinema 4D tags, and then go to compositing. I'm going to leave that there for you guys to realize where it is. Compositing. And then all these are checked besides this one. Check that one, and it'll make the background completely see-through. It's like invisible. It's like it's not there. But whenever we have the like logo, like the L7 logo, I'm gonna delete this path. Well, I'm gonna actually delete path. Let's see here. I'm gonna delete this path and this path because those are the two corners right there, and I don't like those. So what you gotta do is gotta go to extrude NURBS. If that's how you say it, I'm not completely sure. I am not too fond about the names of Cinema 4D, to be honest. I just do a little bit of it. Alright, so you're gonna put these paths and extrude NURBS, and then right here, this is where a lot of people mess up. Before they do this, they try to take the extrude NURBS, they try to take the paths, and before, like, you see how it's like inside, it's too big. And what people like to do is they like to move it before they put it inside the extrude NURBS. You don't do that. No, whenever you put it in the extrude NURBS, go to this little key right here, and this is to make it short, or just make it smaller. You can do it another way, but that's how I do it. Now I go to Google and go into snow texture. Okay, and usually I find, you know, I don't find the best one in the whole entire game, but I find, you know, I find somewhat a good texture. So let's find a good. Let's see here. Maybe it's ice texture that I looked up last time. I'm not completely sure. Ice texture. Yeah, boom. See, here we go. Alright, so I'm gonna be using I think it's this one that I used last time. Not completely sure, but it will be the one I'm using today. And whenever you're going to let this load for a second. Whenever you're getting this texture right here, you see how it's like kind of all crystally and all. There's gonna be a bar that's down here and it's loading. Wait until that to load all the way to take your picture, or it's just gonna say download. But it says ice texture for me. I'm gonna save that to my desktop. just because I want to. Now we got the ice texture. Now we're gonna go back into Cinema 4D, and we're gonna get the ice texture that we just had. Specular, check it off. Texture, make it the ice texture that we found, and click no. I don't really know what it means. I just click no. And whenever you go up to here, this is what I do every single time on every background. I don't know if it makes it better, I don't know. But I go to Object Self Shadow. Just because I like the way it looks, to be honest. Because the shadow's right here, and then whenever it goes, the shadow's right there. It's on the ground, basically. And I guess it gives its own shadow. I'm not completely sure. Don't quote me on it. But that's what I believe, and that's what I'm going to stick to. Alright, so we're gonna go to cubic. Let's see what frontal looks like. No, we're gonna go with cubic today. Alright, so you can barely see like a line right here. Well, I don't think you actually see a line right there. I don't think that's a line. Oh well. It's just a tutorial, so we're not gonna worry about that too much. Alright, so we're gonna size that up to a little bit right there. I think that's a little much right there. Alright, so we made our little logo, the L7 logo. Boom, there we go. L7 logo is made. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this all the way down to the texture, or, you know, the snow plow, whatever you want to call it. And we're gonna kind of bury it, basically. And what you want to do is you want to take this and you want to lower where it's kind of like concave. You see how it's concave right there? We're gonna lower that just a bit, right about chair. And we're gonna size this down a little bit because I want my own for the L7 logo. Alright, so we're gonna size it down a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm gonna switch it over to the L7 logo. Push it down a little bit. And we're gonna bury it just a little bit. Just a tad bit. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to select all the layers. I'm gonna make it just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Alright, so whenever you have that and then you want to say, before we do this, when you go into Spotlight, what Spotlight does is let you create a light, basically. It's kind of self-explanatory, sorry. Alright, so what I do is I size that out and then I make that a little bit out more, or I'm not sure what I'm doing right here. Alright, yeah. I'm going to take this little point right here. Alright, now we're going to take this and bring it outwards so it kind of fills in the space of whatever I'm trying to do here. Now we're going to go to Shadow, Shadow Map Soft, and this is on the light right here. You go to it and it's usually going to say General right here. Go to Shadow and then Shadow Maps. Okay, and then render it and see where your shadow is. And it looks like right here is where it cuts off. We're probably going to erase that later in Photoshop, but I'm going to fix that right now because, quite honest with you, I do not like it. I don't like whenever things are off course, basically what I'm saying here. Alright, so the density, the shadow was really black, so we're going to lower that so it can be kind of like a kind of blurry-ish, just like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to move the light to where it's behind the logo. We're not like behind the logo, but we're going to move it to where it's let's see how we're going to do this. Alright, so we're going to move it and we're going to angle it to where it shows on the logo. There we go. Now we're going to render this and see what it looks like. Perfect. That is I amaze myself sometimes. No, I'm totally kidding. Don't take that seriously. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna size this up just a little bit to where it's kinda concaving out. You should show the ground right there. Boom. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make more of these actually. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna concaving it a little bit. And I'm gonna make one right there to where it's kinda like that is almost perfect. See what that looks like. Amazing. Perfect. Literally is almost perfect. I could do a little bit of work, but we're just doing a tutorial here. But actually, I'm going to make it perfect because I like perfect. Even though my backgrounds aren't perfect, we're going to make this perfect. And it's basically what's going to go down. So we're going to make that a little bit smaller. There we go. Move this up a tad bit to where it's kind of there. You go. Let's see what that looks like. See if that hill is good enough. We'll work with it. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this landscape, and the very first one we're gonna have is we're gonna duplicate that one and duplicate it again. Well, we didn't actually duplicate it twice. We just duplicated it once. It just copied the first one. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna size this down where our text is gonna be. We're gonna put that down in the ground just a little bit, move like that, and we're gonna come on, make it a little. Okay, this is too big right here. Let's make it like that. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a MoText and gonna go into object, sorry. And if your Cinema 4D kind of unresponds a little bit, it's normal, don't worry about it. Well, it's not really normal, but it's normal for me. Alright, so we got the MoText, and now we're going to make it say, what are we going to have it say? I'm going to figure out what we're going to have to say in just a second. Alright, we're going to have it say SHNK for L7 Shink, whatever his name is. I'm not completely sure, but we're going to work with it. Alright, so what we're going to do is the text. It says Sergio UI. I don't think I've ever actually used this text, to be honest. But today we're not going to use it either. But what this does every single time is I'm guessing it loads every time I have this problem. So if anyone else has this problem, I have the same problem. So don't get what is the word for it? Don't get scared if this happens. I mean, if it happens on a daily basis to where it does it over and over and over and over like 5 or 6 times, I mean, then maybe you have an issue on your hands. But we're just gonna wait for this for a second. I'm not very good at tutorials, to be honest, because I'm over here waiting for this, and I'm actually playing Xbox at the same time, so don't get mad at me. I'm actually in capture the flag right now, so that's what I do. Sorry. Okay, so we're just gonna pause this for a second and wait for that to load up again. Alright, so we have our text loaded up, and we're gonna go to a famous font that I call typography. I think it's called typography. Typography, I think it is called. And it's actually one of my. Ooh, looks nice. No. Typography Pro. I believe that's what it's called. Don't hold me to that. Alright, so we got our text. We're gonna move it around a little bit. And before we resize it, well, actually, we're gonna resize it right now. Alright, so we're gonna take this down all the way to where the, see where it sinks in. That's exactly where we're taking it. Now, I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller because I'm doing it. Alright, so we're gonna make this depth a little bit right about a 50. 50 is perfect actually. Now we're gonna take the caps right here and we're gonna size this up a little bit. Size it up, boom, right there. We're gonna make this 2-step right here because just because I like it. Alright, now we have our texture on there. It's gonna go to cubic. And I know that I'm not making it the exact same as that, but I mean, God doesn't make straight lines, so if you don't believe in God, it is alright with me. I'm not gonna judge you. Alright, so we're gonna make this, we're gonna press, whenever, how I did that to make it like separate objects right there, 4 separate objects, is I went to the Motex and I'm gonna press C on it. For the Mac, I am not completely sure what you press, because you see I don't have a Mac, and yeah, I just don't really know what you do. But that's just me. Trying to be kind of as professional as possible doing this. Knowing that I'm failing at doing professional as possible because I'm not as professional as possible. I'm not really professional at all. But I'm just trying to make a tutorial for you guys because this is really highly... this gets requested about maybe 4 times a day. People ask me where do I get my images for my manipulations. All I do is type in things on Google and some random things pop up, and I actually go through probably 250 pictures just looking at pictures, about 300 of them per day. Well, not literally per day, but a good amount of my time is looking for pictures for manipulations. And so what you gotta do is you just gotta keep on playing with this a little bit. Make it to where, you know, you're satisfied with it, almost. Well, actually not really almost, you are completely satisfied with it. Take this H and N and sink that in just a little bit. Take this N and kind of go ahead and more into this now. There we go. Alright, let's see what this looks like so far. I do believe the N is too far underground. It kind of doesn't look right. Take that out of the snow just a little bit. Boom, right there. And then we're gonna make a area light. Take this and kind of, if you can, make it as straight as possible. Now I know I did not make that as straight as possible, but you see, I'm not really aiming for perfection. I mean, you should on all backgrounds, but as of right now, that is not what I'm going to do, so leave me alone. Now we're going to put that on top. That's what she said. We're going to make this stuff shadow, and we're going to make this shadow just a little bit lower. We're going to see what that looks like, and hopefully it's perfect, because usually it comes out perfect. And it is completely beautiful. Look at that. That is just... What am I going to do with my life? Just kidding, it's not perfect. Alright, we're going to move this a little bit to right chair. Take this out a little bit, you know, out of hibernation. And I think we have that perfect almost. Let's see what we got here. Ooh. Ooh. That is not good. Let's move this a little bit. Right. Right. right? Right there. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna move the S. Move the S forward and up, and make that a little bit smaller to where we can barely see. There we go. Perfect. Now the K right here. Now you guys are gonna notice that the K is kind of shining down on the L7 logo. So we're gonna take that. The K is almost literally blending in with the L7 logo, which I'm not liking. We're really gonna move these things around. I mean, if we have to, I have no problem with that, but kind of time consuming a little bit. And now, here we go. Well, actually, maybe if I put this in the ground a little bit. Like so. And gonna bury this a little bit more in there. Just like that. Let's see what that looks like now. Beautiful. Look at that. That is just magnificent. Now everything does not have a shadow. I understand this. But we are gonna make that shadow a little bit darker. Just right about 95. And that is beautiful. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this, and I know I should have done this a little bit ago. This is gonna kind of mess it up a little bit. You see what happens whenever I mess it up just a little bit? Kind of starts messing up. The exact example of why you should always make sure your settings are correct first. Because whenever they're not, this ends up happening. Oh, here we go. Perfect. There we go.
Wait, I'm going around the block.
Basically, just like that. Now, what we're going to do is, we already made our settings correct. Now I'm going to make this a PNG. Save it as PNG. Go to desktop. Shrink your image. Multipass, don't worry about it. Multi-editing, best. 2x2. Go to save, effect, ambient occlusion. No idea what that does, but I do it. And then that is all you do. And this is going to be the first part to the Cinema 4D for how to do photo manipulation. I hope this helped you guys for the first part. And for the second part of the photo manipulation, it will be, I don't know exactly, but I will try to put it out as quickly as possible. If this hits 50 likes, then I will come out with the second one within the next week. So I hope this helped you guys, and this is Gatsby, and I am out. Peace.